G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Two Colts in the Kong. Another week's gone.
Another week has gone, Adam, yes. An interesting week, there's always plenty going on. Just the two Colts this week, but hopefully we can get a third Colt in the Kong to join us for the Derby Day episode of the show next week. And we got the field for it released on Thursday. Are there any surprises there?
Not really, the obvious two, obviously. More than this and Golden 60 look the standouts. I don't think there'll be too many people tipping against them. Champions Way's been good. Butterfield, I think his recent trial was good.
He's my little roughie.
Yeah, I think he's going to be not a bad price. And of course, Enjoying was good last start. Tommy Berry gets the ride on him.
Okay.
Comes over on him.
So the old team are back together, are they?
Yeah, the old team are back together, which is good to see. And I think he's a horse who will really suit Tommy. He likes to be ridden quietly. Tommy's good on these back markers, and of course him and John have a great relationship.
He's not quite a Designs on Rome. I don't think Tom will be taking off of the 800 on him.
No, I don't think he'll be doing that. He's not the same horse. He's obviously no Designs on Rome, but his last start was good, and I wouldn't be shocked if you're in a huge race in the Derby.
Okay, Brett Preble's coming over as well to our private secretary.
Yep, I think his first up win flattened him at Happy Valley. He hasn't been the same horse since. In saying that, Tony Cruz is a great trainer. He does know how to get his horses ready for their grand final, but his recent trial the other day didn't look like a horse that wanted to extend out. So I think next season he's a horse to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder even if he was, you say he was flattened, I think he might have been flattered by his first up win too.
Correct, yeah.
Just question what he beat that night. It was obviously good to go out and win first up, but he clearly hasn't gone on with it for a variety of reasons, I think, since then.
I totally agree.
Let's head to Saturday then. We get a Sunday off here in Hong Kong this weekend. It's a Saturday afternoon racing. Class 1 race 8 is the highest class race for the meeting, but we'll start at the beginning. Class 5, 1200 metres. I'd be going with the Abraxas here. Down in class, Zach Purton jumps on board. Good draw. Be up on the speed, making his own luck. He's good enough, I think, to win in the right sort of class 4. Yep. I think he should be going close in a class 5.
Definitely he's racing well. His last start effort was good. He's fit, drawn perfectly, Zach Purton. But I'm going to give Moneymore one more chance. Perfect draw. I thought he was good last start. He should just sit behind him, and I think he'll get the last shot at him. He should be not a bad each way price, winner place price. So I'm happy to go with him for in this race. I think, of course, the Brax is going to be hard to beat. And one horse to keep an eye on is Wonder Express. He's down in class 5 now. He's definitely ready to win a race, but he's going to need a lot of luck from the wide draw.
Okay, I think an honourable mention as well to Redbrick Fighter. He's been going well enough to win a race like this.
The recent trial was good.
Class 4, 1200 metres for race number 2 at Beluga. What did you think of him first up?
Yeah, I thought he was good. He did a lot wrong. He had a little bit against him. He's one of my best bets on the card tomorrow. He's a nice horse. I like that Zach's taken a lot of time every morning with him. David All has a good opinion of the horse, as he said. So he looks like a really nice horse in the ride. He's a good looking horse. He was a little bit sweating up a little bit before his last start race. So I think he would have taken a lot of improvement out of that run. I think he's going to get the gun run throughout, and I think he's definitely the one to beat. Hopefully we get not a bad price about him, but I definitely think he's going to be very, very hard to beat.
Okay, I thought that Eternal Harvest, the horse that beat him last time, that was pretty smart. So I think that form will turn out to be decent.
Yeah, definitely. I think a horse to keep a little close eye on is Happily Friends. He's been trialling well. He's going to be big odds. Jimmy Ting, Chad Schofield, so he might be one to put in your exotics.
Okay, from a breeding point of view, True Legends from a nice family, so I think that he might be one to keep an eye on in that race too.
Yes, spot on. He is. He's very well bred.
On to the third, class 4, 1000 metres, surely zero heads, right part of the track. Alfie Chan claiming second of his last 3. Is Saturday his day?
Oh, I've got him on top, but it wouldn't shock me if he were in another place. I think he's the hardest to beat. Dublin Star, he's got ability. He just does a lot wrong.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a head case at the moment, but Joe's same as like Beluga. Joe's spent a lot of time with this horse, and so they've obviously got a good opinion of the horse, these jockeys, when they do continue to ride them every morning, every barrier trial. So I think ridden that a little bit quieter, if he can just relax throughout Dublin Star, he'll be finishing off very strongly. And Good View Clarico, he's a nice horse. He's going to need a lot of luck from the barrier 1 from the other side, but I think he'll be running on strongly late.
Okay, race 4, class 4, 1400 metres. Janot Park I thought was good last time out behind Casemiro, who was ready to win a race. He's drawn well here. He's a nice up and coming type. I'm with him.
Yeah, I'm with him too. He just looks to tick. It's his race to win tomorrow. I think he's definitely very, very hard to beat. I think keep an eye on if you're looking for one of the big odds, I think Interstellar can run a much improved race. He's got the ability to run a big race. Last start was not too bad. He just got a long way back. I think with Neil on him tomorrow, more experienced jockey, I think he'll have him midfield and get to the outside. I think he's a good place chance. But yeah, I think Janot Park is definitely the one to beat.
King Dragon, I think, has the makings of a nice horse.
Correct. Just needs a bit of time.
Treasure Chest ran a much improved race last time out. When you look at his track work, he does move like a horse who's got the natural ingredients.
Yes, he did run better last start. I just don't know what they're going to do from barrier 10. And of course, Best For You was absolutely off the map last start, and they got the cash with him. He's a horse that I think down the weights again, he's going to run another good race. On
to race number 5. It's a mixed meeting coming up on Saturday afternoon at Sha Tin. So this is on the all-weather track, Class 4, 1800 metres, at a 60 to 35 range Class 4 event as well. Foodie Princess, does he win again? Does he make it a hat-trick here?
I think he does, yeah. His last start win was good. The only recent run that he sort of was a bit disappointed was that run on the wet track that he really didn't like. So he's got the dry all-weather track his last couple, and he's really won easy. So I think he'll do the same again tomorrow. Crown Avenue was good last start. He took on the stablemate. I thought he stuck on well. I think he'll Zach back on board. He's going to run a big race, and this one's for you. He's been consistent. Hay Run was a horse that I had on top last start, but he didn't have much luck. He's going to need a lot of luck from the barrier tomorrow, but keep an eye on him flashing home out wide.
He's on my bad list, Hay Run. He's staying there until further notice. But General Dino was in super form around this time last year, and he's down in class. I'd be interested to see if he can improve with this step down in class on the weekend. Yeah,
definitely. He won 3 or 4 on the bounce last season, so he's one to keep an eye on, and he'll be big odds.
Yeah, he will. Neil Callan rides him as well. Race 6 though, let's move on to that, Class 3, 1400 metres. How do you see this one unfolding?
I'm going to go with a horse that I've got a little bit of an opinion of, is Smoothies.
Okay.
I just think he's been ticking along well, comes into this third up. I thought he stuck on last day. He's going to get a perfect run. I think he'll just sit, he'll either lead throughout or sit right just behind the speed. Derek's riding well. He's ridden a few winners of late, which is good to see. High Rise Soldier was better last start. He's a horse that's obviously taking his time. He needs to mature a bit more, but I think the ability's there to win a couple of races. Ultimate Glory, he's a little champion, this horse. He always tries his best. He's flying at the moment. So Zach back on, barrier 14. I think one thing is we'll see him going back.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't be shocked if we see a bit of a Hurricane Hunter sort of ride on him.
Okay.
But I think he'll just try and ride for a bit of luck on this horse, and he's riding. He's running very well. This horse, and he's fit. He's just going to need a ton of luck from the draw.
Okay, so one to beat though.
I'm going to go with Smoothies winner place.
Okay. Class 3, 1650, back to the dirt for race number 7. I did give a bit of a push for Lone Eagle last time out when he won, but I'm going to jump off this time. I think the 1650 might be a bit far for him. Bear Slam's probably the one to beat here, 3 in a row going really well, but you could make a case for a lot of it. It's a pretty open race.
It's a tough field. Bear Slam, he's a nice horse. He's improving. He's won his last 2. His recent trial was good. I'm going to go with Red Elises. I just think he's going to get every conceivable chance tomorrow, and I think tomorrow's his day to get another win on the board. A horse, Lone Eagle, of course, it has the ability, and he showed that last start. He's a bit of a up and down sort of horse, but once he puts it all together, he's a very smart horse. I remember you last time were keen on him at the big odds, and he got the job done. Raging Blitzkrieg's another horse that runs well. And a big watch on Racing Luck. He's never been on the all-weather track, but he's trialled well on the all-weather track. And Vincent and Francis Lloyd airborne.
I'll throw up a few here. Red Elise's in super form. My only concern with him, I just wonder if he needs to improve that length to win in Class 3 level. But there's no world beaters in this sort of Class 3 either. And my gut feeling is he's the sort of horse that could run 2nd, 3rd or 4th here, but I just wonder if he's quite good enough to win. Mongolian King deserves a win. He's been racing really well. Just the concern is the all-weather track for him. Good to Wagner Borges back in Hong Kong.
Definitely.
Clear Choice is going really well. My little roughie would be California Arjon. If there's not much pace on, I did really like the way that he performed 2 starts ago on the all-weather track. If it's a day where it's favouring the front runners, he'll be up there with a lightweight, and he might give them something to really try to run down.
Yeah, he stuck on 2 starts ago when he ran 4th. He was massive odds, and he's got the ability of the horse. I think he's another horse that just needs a bit of time, and once he wins one, I think he'll go on with it and win a couple more.
Yeah.
As you said, it is good to see Wagner Borges over here, Brazilian jockey. I know all jockeys are small, but he's only a little frame fella. He's got a big smile. It'd be good to see him ride a winner. He was unlucky last season when he came late in the season. He nearly rode a winner, but Joe got him on the line. But yeah, he's a good young jockey. It's good to see him get an opportunity over here, and I'm excited to see what he can do over the next couple of months. And one horse we have to talk about is Right Choice. He is a very talented horse. He was a very talented horse last season. He hasn't gone on with it lately. He probably did hit his mark very quickly and hasn't gone on with it. But his recent trial was good. I wouldn't be shocked if he ran a huge race tomorrow.
Okay.
But for me, I'm going to go with Red Elise as winner place.
If you're playing quaddies, clearly by judging on our conversation, first leg you want to go wide, don't you?
Exactly. It's a tough race. It's dead set anything could win. I think the only one I probably couldn't put in my numbers, Edward, would be Travel First.
But I would say, Adam, that when you look at his run a few starts ago...
Vincent rode him.
Yeah, and he was flying home behind Last Kingdom and probably should have won. You could include him off that. But then again, gate 14, 1650 start. Yeah, I could see where you're coming from, but...
Not hopeless.
Not hopeless. I'd be kicking out loud and like.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, I'll
but yes, if you're playing the exotics, I'd be going very wide in that 7th race. Race 8, I think is more cut and dry. Class 1, 1600 metres. It's our highest class race for the meeting. It's an interesting race. I'd be with Precious Ship to keep on going, but there are a few others who I think are in with a chance.
Flying Precious Ship, another Ricky Yu horse who's just gone the next level this season. Vincent rides, barrier 3. What more can you say, I suppose? He does look the one to beat. I think he's going to be under the odds. Flying Thunder for me. Horse I've always had good opinion of. He's got so much ability, this horse. I think he's just had a couple of setbacks. So I think his last start effort was good. He didn't have much room, and I think he got to the line under not full. He didn't hit the line as 100 mile an hour, but he was just going to the line nicely. He's had a recent trial. His recent work's been good, so I'm happy to have something on Flying Thunder at the each way price. Precious Ship, hardest to beat. Carrying Star was very good last start. He's going to need a little bit of luck from the wide draw, and Fast Most Furious. He's racing very, very consistently, and he was very, very good behind Precious Ship 2 starts back.
Definitely. The other one I'd be throwing up is Time to Celebrate. He's there for last time out in one of the main form races for this, the race won by Harmony Victory at Happy Valley. He was 3 wide throughout and still fighting and still beating just only 1 length. So off that performance, it was a run that suggested he's back in form.
He was very good last start. He had no luck and he stuck on to run 3rd. I don't know how he stuck on to run 3rd, but it was a huge effort. Might have flattened him a little bit for this run, but he's got no weight in his back, and John Size is a genius.
On to race 9, class 3, 1200 metres, Ballistic King. When you look at his last couple of starts, being beaten by Super Wealthy, Wellington, I know he's got the top weight, but I still think that he's clearly the one to beat. This is a race where there's not an up-and-coming, promising sort of horse in it that I think's the one to beat. I agree. I think he's one of the best bets on the card. His last start effort behind a horse who I have a big opinion on, Super Wealthy, was very good. He looked the winner. And then Wellington flashed home over the top of him, and then he sort of wanted to get going again late. So he's a nice horse. Barrier 6, Chad's riding brilliantly. He looks to tick plenty of boxes tomorrow. If he gets beaten tomorrow, it's I don't know where they're going to go to from there, but he should be getting the job done tomorrow. However you want to pronounce. Elegier? Yeah, I'd go Elegier, yeah.
Number 8 is a horse I've had opinion on since he's raced here. He's Only had the few starts. He's talented. Wagenborgers rides. No weight in his back. Barrier 3. He can run a huge race tomorrow at big odds. I'm actually going to have something on him, the small price win and place, but I think Ballistic King is the one to beat. So I'll be having something on Ballistic King and saving each way on Elegare.
Okay, lucky last, class 3 over the 1400 metres. Zach Purton said he was impressed by what Mighty Giant did last time out and was hard not to be, really. He does take the big step up from class 4 to class 3, but off what he's done at his last few starts, particularly his last start win, he's the one they're all going to have to get past.
Yeah, Zach doesn't normally give much away, but you could tell he was very, very taken with this horse's last start effort. He's very well named because he is a giant. He's a big, big boy. Zach has rode him in a recent trial at Happy Valley the other day. It was very quiet last Saturday. I liked his trial. He was just there not to be knocked around, have a look around the valley. He's definitely the one to beat. I think he's one of the best bets on the card, but as we said, similar to last week in the last race, I think it's a case of what price we're going to get. I was hoping around $3, but I wouldn't be shocked if he started $2.20 or something like that. I think he's definitely the one to beat. Beauty Icon was outstanding last start. His sectionals were really good. He's drawn perfectly. Barrier 2, I am a little bit concerned because I think he might be a horse that has to be ridden quiet. I hope they just don't jump him out and put him behind the speed and then he just doesn't finish off. But there's a race in him soon. I really liked his effort, but Mighty Giant, I think he's ticks plenty of boxes.
Okay, Amazing Chocolate hacked that last time out. I don't think he beat much, but he did beat them by the best part of 5 lengths. He's got no weight on his back, particularly with Victor Wong claiming. Victor Wong's ridden a couple of winners in the last week. He hasn't been back for long. What do you make of him here?
I've got him in for third or fourth. I couldn't really. I didn't know how to sum up that race. He didn't beat much, but he won really, really well, and it was a really good effort. Chad rode him last start, and obviously Chad can't ride him tomorrow because of the weight. It's too light, so Victor gets the chance on a nice horse on the up. I think he'll roll forward, and I think he'll take a ton of catching, but I think Mighty Giant's just got too much class. Okay,
it'll be a really good race to finish the program with. You've hinted at what your best bets could be. What are they?
Mighty Giant is, definitely I think the one to beat, but I'm just worried about the price. I'm going to go with Beluga, the best on the card, and hopefully we can keep the best bets rolling, Edward.
Let's hope so, Adam. I'll go Precious Ship as well in the 8th race as my best bet. No racing on Sunday, but then Wednesday night at the Valley, and the following Sunday, Derby Day, Golden 60 More Than This. Who do you think you'll be tipping this time next week on 2 Colts In The Kong?
I've always been a fan of both the horses, but More Than This I'm going to stick with for the Derby. Golden 60 is a brilliant horse. I think More Than This is a very good horse. I don't know I don't think Francis is going to trial More Than This next Tuesday. I've got no idea. I don't know what's happening. But
the only horse I know is trialling is I spoke to John Moore and he said a Thero.
Thero's trialling, yes.
Calm down, it's not Christmas just yet, it's just the trial, but he will be trialling next Tuesday.
I said this a couple of weeks ago, I really like that Francis hasn't trialled More Than This. I think he'll keep him fresh, and for people who don't really understand what that means, but I think he's a horse that needs to be kept a bit fresh so he can have that zip at the end of his races. I think that's a big tick from Francis. As I think last stage effort was very good where he had to make a long sustained run, but he just didn't have that ping in his legs. So to beat Golden 60, he definitely needs to have the ping in his legs, because if Golden 60 handles the extra 200 metres on show, which I think he should, it could be very, very hard to catch the rising star of Golden 60. So Francis, I'd love to see him win the Derby, and who knows, he could be going 1-2. He
could indeed. I think that draw is going to be crucial from the 2,000 metre starting point. If Golden 60 was to draw 14, for instance, and be forced to go back, or have to try to go forward and work from there, when he, for mine, was a bit of a doubt over 2,000 metres, I think that's going to be a crucial element to the race. It's something that we'll be able to debate when we know what the draw is coming this time next week.
I'm looking forward to the Derby. It's always an exciting time of the year. We know he's a good horse, Golden 60, but if he draws 14, goes back, gets to the outside and picks them up like he does, and like he has been, I think he's a superstar then. And he's an exciting animal, and I'm really looking forward to next week's Derby.
I just hope it's not a case of why Cuckoo last year with the best horse doesn't win the Derby because of the barrier draw.
Let's not bring that up, Edward.
I did mean to open old words there. We'll leave it there on Two Colts In The Kong, I think that Adam.
Yes, thank you all for watching, and feel free to like, subscribe, and do what you got to do. And we'll see you all again next week. Good luck tomorrow, and have a great weekend.